Today we're going to learn all about how to use non-standard units to measure length. We're going to be answering the question, how do you measure length using non-standard units? Before you begin working on these lesson pages, you'll need to use the grid paper to make some measuring tools. Your grid paper looks like this. You need to take some scissors and cut them into the small squares. You can color your squares if you like. You don't have to, but I know that I like to use colors in math. Once you have a nice pile of some measuring tools, we can begin the lesson. So we know that Jimmy sees that his boat is about 6 color tiles long. We need to draw Jimmy's boat. If I know that Jimmy's boat is 6 color tiles long, I am going to line up my color tiles in a row until I have 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my boat's gonna start here and in there. So this is 6 color tiles long. Now I can draw Jimmy's boat. There, we have Jimmy's boat. The next thing we need to do is draw the color tiles underneath to show how we measured. So I am going to draw 6 color tiles to show what it looked like when we were measuring Jimmy's boat. Very good job. Go ahead and turn the page. Let's take a look at the purple box up here with the yellow marker. You can use color tiles to measure length. We can write how many. Same thing, we can use our color tiles that we made to measure this picture of the marker. I'm going to line the end of my square up with the end of the marker. And each time I put a new color tile down, I'm going to make sure it is right next to the tile that I just laid down, right next to the end of it. If I leave too much space like this, I won't have the correct measurement. So I need to make sure my color tiles are right next to each other. That's going to give me the right answer. Alrighty. So we can see that the start of our marker begins in the same line. But at the end, we can see that our marker is almost as long as this tile, but it is a little bit shorter. That's why when we write our answer, it's going to say about this many. How many color tiles long is this marker? Very good. This marker is about 6 tiles. Now, you can go around your house and find some real objects to measure with your color tiles. You may have these objects that are on this paper, or you might not. Not everybody has a stapler at home. If you don't have something, that's okay. Just pick something else to measure, and you can cross it out like I did here in number 3. I don't have a paintbrush at home, so I crossed it out, and I'm going to measure a pen instead. First, let's start with a crayon. Make sure it starts at the same place your crayon starts. Make sure your square is lining up with the end of the other square. Okay, so we can see here, we started at the beginning and all the way here, it is just a little bit longer. But if you can see, if I put another one down, it is only just a little bit. So I'm gonna leave that one off. And I'm gonna say that my crayon is about 1, 2, 3 color tiles. However, your crayon might be longer or shorter than mine. So it's okay if you have a different number here. Just make sure that you're following the important measuring rules of starting at the beginning and keeping no space in between the squares. Next, we're going to measure a stapler. Remember, if you don't have a stapler, you can use something else, maybe a book or a toy. Okay, I've got my stapler here. Let's see how long this stapler is. Okay, here is how long my stapler is. If you don't have anything to measure, you can count the tiles on my stapler. How long is my stapler? 7 tiles long. It is about 7 tiles long. You might have a different number here, and that's okay. Next, we're going to measure a paintbrush if you have a paintbrush. If you don't, you can measure something else. I'm going to measure a pen. Line it up. All right, here's how long my pen is. My pen is about 6 color tiles long. Now let's measure some scissors. I've got some really long scissors. I think these are the longest things I have here today. Let's measure these scissors. Now, you can see that even though my scissors are curvy, I kept my tiles in a straight line, as straight as I could. When we're measuring length from one end to the other, we always want to measure in as straight of a line as we can. Here is how long my scissors are. Just as I suspected, my scissors are the longest thing so far, with 9 squares. Remember, you might have a different number there. That's okay. Go ahead and turn to the next page. Now, if you have a watercolor, you can certainly measure that. I don't have a watercolor, so I'm going to measure this marker. I drew a picture of it right there so I wouldn't forget. Okay. my Sharpie is about 6 squares long. Now let's measure some glue. I don't have a bottle of glue like that, but I do have a glue stick. That's what I'm going to measure today. Okay. Here's how long my glue stick is. My glue stick is about 5 color tiles. Very good job. Now I'm going to measure a book. You can measure a book or a notebook or a folder. Anything is okay. All right, let me measure this book here. Before this book, my scissors were the longest, but I think that this book may be longer than my scissors. Guess we'll find out. All right. Yep. Just as I thought, my book is the longest object I've measured so far, and it is about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 color tiles long. I only have one more object to measure, and it is my pencil. All right, here's how long my pencil is. My pencil is 8 color squares, but you may have a shorter or a longer pencil. Very nice work. Now let's read number 9. The green yarn is about 2 color tiles long. About how long is the blue yarn? Now, we could put our color tiles underneath the blue line and measure, but this question wants us to try and just use what we know about the green yarn to make a good guess about the blue yarn. So I'll give you a second to think about it. If this green yarn is 2 tiles long, about how long is the blue yarn? Now, some people are able to look at this and know the answer just by looking at it. But for some of us, it's a little bit harder. So I can show you some tricks. First, you can take your fingers and you can measure the green from the start to the finish with just your fingers. And then you have to try and keep your fingers perfectly still. We can see that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6. So we can say that the blue yarn is about 6 squares. Now, if you don't like using your fingers, you can also use what you know about the green yarn to draw pictures to help you solve this problem. If we know that the green yarn is about 2 tiles long, I can draw a picture. This is my first tile and my second tile. I'm going to try and draw tiles that are the same size all the way until I get to the end of the blue yarn. All right, so you can see these all look about the same size. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 tiles. Now, I am going to read these problems on the back for you, but I'm going to let you and your family work on finding the answers. Let's read question number 10. Mark measures a real glue stick with color tiles. About how long is a glue stick? Circle the answer that is most reasonable. Reasonable means the answer that makes the most sense. We're trying to figure out which one of these choices makes the most sense. Do you think that a glue stick would be about 1 color tile long? Do you think that a glue stick would be about 4 color tiles long? Or do you think that a glue stick would be about 10 color tiles long? Number 11. Bo has 4 ribbons. Circle the ribbon that is less than 3 color tiles long, but more than 1 color tile long. There are 4 ribbons here. Inside of this question, there are 2 clues. I highlighted those clues for you right here. Less than 3 and more than 1. Circle the ribbon that is less than 3 color tiles long, but more than 1 color tile long. Number 12. The crayon is about 4 tiles long. Draw tiles below the crayon to show its length. The crayon is about 4 tiles long. Draw tiles below the crayon to show its length. Good job.